Hello, everyone. Hello, my name is Kene, and we shall be looking at strings again today, manipulating strings. So right away, I'm going to share my screen so we'll see what question we have to solve today, okay? All right. Just a moment, guys. Okay, so that's that. Let's have a look at the question. Remember, in the last video, we discussed and then wrote a program to reverse the order of characters in a string. So that was what we looked at the last time. Today, we are going to take a string, which could be, say, a sentence or a long word, and would count how many times a specific character occurs in, the string of characters, that string of characters. How many times do we get, say, letter A in that string, right? So here's the question. Write a Python program to count the number of times a specific character occurs in a string given by the user. So we're going to get user input, then show the result. So we need to output the result. That's the question. I hope you understand the question, guys. Get a string from the user and then count the number of times a specific character occurs in that string. Now, there are three ways we can achieve this. We're going to look at three ways today to solve this problem. The first here, guys, we're just going to use an inbuilt Python method, a function that is, part of the Python language, to just count the number of times a character occurs. Remember, in the last video, we discussed what methods are. I said that a method is simply a block of code that is specific to a particular problem. So it's just meant to solve this problem. And the good thing about methods is that they allow you, the programmer, to write it once and use multiple times. So you don't have to write the entire lines of code each time you want to solve this particular problem. You don't have to write, let's assume you use 100 lines of code to do it the first time to compute something, and you want to compute the same thing somewhere else, in your program. You don't have to write the 100 lines anymore. All you need to do is just call the method, just call that function, and you have access to all its goodies, okay? So guys, there's this method here in Python. It's called the count method, and that's what we're going to use. Very, very simple. Get the input from the user. I'll just call this string str, and the input method with the prompt, enter a sentence. Let's call it a sentence. Enter a sentence. Then, having got that, I should just indent this. So we've got the string now from the user. The next thing we want to do is to call the count method. And then we store what it returns in a variable. So I'll just call this my count. And that's simply going to be count. Now it takes an argument there, which we're going to supply. The argument is the character that we want to count, right? So I'll just give this as, say, I want to count character A. Okay, so I hope we get that, guys. Oh, sorry. I'm going to have this, the string that I need. So this is taken from the user. So that's what it is, and the count method of the string class. That solves the problem. Let's now bring this to the screen. My count. That's it. Okay, so let's run our program. I think I need this on a new line, escape key and end. So the cursor should come on a new line. All right. So I'll run my program. Enter a sentence. I saw James Bond trying to catch a bad guy on my street. Okay, so 5 times. We see, guys, the letter A occurs 5 times. If we count our sentence, I mean the characters in our sentence there, A in saw, A in James, making 2, A in catch 3, A in bad 4, and where's the last? 1, 2, 3, 4. It should be 5. Where is it? Where is it? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's it. The A there as a word and as a character, making 5. So I hope we understand this. It's just this count function simply counts the number of times a particular character occurs in a string. That's it. Very, very simple. Now let's look at the second method. To achieve that, using the second method, we need a Python module. It's called collections, the collections module. So with it, you have classes and methods that are used to achieve different things. So I'm going to do that, guys. I want us to understand something. To achieve different tasks, you may need to import files that I call modules. So they contain codes that will help us solve this particular problem or that particular problem. So to import that module into our current project, we'll just use the word, I'll just use the word import. Import, or rather, let me just get the class from the module. A module could contain classes. So I'm just going to say from collections. So this is the module, the collections module. Import this class, import counter. By convention, you start a class name using a capital letter. All right, so that's that, counter. Now, counter is a subclass of the dictionary class. The dictionary is a kind of storage or container in Python that holds data as key value pairs. Let me give us an instance. Let me give us an example. So this could be a dictionary, for example, and this could be a dictionary. So this could be a dictionary, and you have this in this form, a dictionary in this format. Just curly braces, and you need the key. So the key here could be A, and for that I have kene, then a comma, the key for the next value with colon after the key, then the value will now be, for example, will be, so this is a typical dictionary. So to access this value, this kene here, I just need to simply do this, the name of the dictionary, and in square brackets, I'll give the key. So that would give us kene as the output. Kene will be the output. That's how you create and use dictionaries in Python. So what the counter class does is that it counts all the characters in my string, and then it maps them. It gives us a dictionary. So the character becomes the key, and the number of times that character occurs is the value. So that's how it works. I have imported the collections module, and from there I get the counter class. Right. Then, okay, let me just comment this out. I hope you know what commenting is all about. It's so you write something, but you don't want the system to use it during execution. So you just want the computer, you just want your program to ignore that line or those lines of code. You comment it out, or you comment those lines out. And that's what I've done here. Multi-line comments. Right, so I'm going to get on with the second method. I'll get my string, and get the input from the user. Input with the prompt, enter a sentence. Enter a sentence. Then collect it in that variable. And I'm going to use my counter class, then supply the variable, the character that I want to count, right? That's it. Store the output in a variable. So I'll just say number of times. That will just be that. And I'm going to print it out. Let's see. Remember what we said about dictionaries. To access the value, give the name of the dictionary, and in square brackets, the key. And the key is the character that I want to count, or that I have counted already. So number of times, and the key for that will be, sorry, it's not, I got it all wrong here. It's going to be the argument for the counter. The argument for that should be string. That is what the user inputted. So right here, I'll use the character that I want to count as the key. Then I will just run my program. Enter a sentence. The name of my cat is, say, James. The name of my cat is James. 3 times. So character A occurs 3 times in the string. In this sentence, the name of my cat is James. So 1 in name, another in cat, making 2, and another in James, making 3. So this is the second method of achieving the same thing, counting the number of times a character occurs in a string. Now, the last method is the loop method. I'm going to loop through all the characters and then check. I'll check if that particular, at any particular point, I'll check if that character is the same as the character that we are counting. And if it is, then I'm going to just count it as part of it, right? Let's see. So again, I'm just going to comment this. Just comment this. Okay. And we'll continue. Now, guys, let me just copy this. I don't have to copy it again. String, that's the input from the user. Got to indent this. Right. Then I'll use the loop now for, I'm going to use a for loop for x, which is each of the characters in the string. For x in str, that's it. So x stands for every character in the string. For x in str, then I check if that x guys, I think it's better I make this I define a function. So it takes the letter that I want to use. It takes the letter that I want to count as its argument. So I think, let me also prompt the user. Let me take this as a character that I want to count. Input. And the prompt. With what character do you wish to count? Okay, so that is collected. Then I am going to simply, okay, no need, guys, let's leave out the function. I am the function now, defining our own function. We'll come to that so that I don't confuse you at this point. So for x in str, remember? Then I'm going to check if the x is equal to, in programming, equality has double, has double, not very strict, not strict check for equality. Just a loose check for equality. You use two equal to signs. So if x is equal to ch, which is the character that I want to count. So if I get this character in the string, I'll check if it's the same as the character that I want to count. If it is, then I need to do something. I need to count the number of times now. So let me just have my count. Let me just call it counting. And I'll just say, set it to 0. So I'm starting out with 0, then counting. I'll just increment counting if it is the same. If that character at that point is the same as the character that I want to count in the string, then just increment counting. Remember, just have it as 1. So counting plus 1, the new value of counting goes up, then plus 1 again, if it gets to that point, and on, it keeps increasing. But the increase comes only if the character at that point is the same as the character that I want to count. Now, when that is done, I'll return to that top level, the for level, and just print counting. Print counting. That's all we need to do. Let me get this on a new line. Okay, all right. So let's run the program. Enter a sentence. I saw James Bond trying to catch a thief on my street. All right. Then what character do I wish to count? I should say A. So A occurs 4 times. It occurs 4 times. I hope we understand what we did here. Take the sentence, then get from the user the character he or she wants to count. Then we use a loop. We set the counter to 0 at the beginning. Then we'll go through every character in the string, and then we check if that character is the same as the character that we want to count. If it is the same, then we just need to increase our counter by 1, and that counter is stored in this variable called counting. At the end of the loop, we'll just output the counter variable, which is called counting here, and that's it. So if we count, and let's see how many times do we have does A occur in I saw James Bond trying to catch a thief on my street. 1, 2, 3, 4, just 4 times, and that's why we have 4 here. Hope we gained something from this tutorial. So thank you guys for watching. I'll see you in the next video.